Hey everybody, it is Barb Techel. I just felt really called. Actually, I have been continually nudged and nudged and nudged from Spirit to share this message, which is from a very unlikely character that has been showing up in my meditations 4 times now. So, usually by the third time, I know that maybe perhaps this is not a message just for me, it's for all of us. And I'm just really feeling called that I continually to be nudged, but I've been a little apprehensive about sharing, even though I did write about it on my blog a little bit. But yeah, this character keeps showing up since I wrote that blog post. And I really feel this is a message for all of us. I really feel that this can be a very supportive message as we go through these really trying times right now. And that could have the potential to getting more chaotic. And I just feel like this can help us hold our center. And while I'm feeling called to share, even though I feel a little bit vulnerable, of what are people going to think about sharing these meditation messages? But you know what? This is about me standing in the truth of who I am. I can't deny these messages that have been coming through the meditations, and I really feel it will be helpful for you as well. If it doesn't resonate, no big deal. Just take what works for you and leave the rest. But I just feel called to share this today. So, the unlikely character that has showed up in my meditation since I'm going to say it was a little towards the end of mid-end August and 4 times now. This unlikely character, now if you've watched my other videos and you read my blog or my newsletter, you know I'm all about the animals, how the animals are helping us here on the earth and helping us to heal. Well, this character that keeps showing up is E.T. from the movie. E.T. from the movie back in the 1980s. If you recall that, if you are my age, I'm sure you're familiar with E.T. And I found this picture online of E.T. Just the sweetest loving character, right? So I'm going to start with the first 2 guided meditations I had in the previous weeks where I experienced ET in my meditation. And I'm referring to my notes here so I can share this with you. And during the first meditation, ET did as he does in the movie. And I'm calling him a he because I don't know how to refer to him, and that's just a little easier way to do it. So ET shows up. He's showing me himself as in the movie and pointing his spindly finger up into the cosmos where he said that famous line, E.T. phone home. And, in my mind, I thought, yeah, okay, of course, phone home. We all know that. We all understand that from the movie. But then I said to E.T., well, but what do you really mean? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to convey to me? I said, is there something more I'm supposed to understand? And then E.T. said, dial in to your heart. Dial in to your heart. And I really understood that in that first meditation as truly and deeply dialing inward, not just for myself, but for all of us. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, that this is the way, that it's the only way to more love and peace in this troubled world, especially right now. We're going through so many different things, right? And it really can make us question, did I really sign up for this? But ET has been very reassuring that this is about dialing into the heart for each of us. So then shortly after that, I did another guided meditation, and I was calling in my spirit ally team, and ET was there again. And we were all, the animals, ET and myself, were deep in this forest, and we were surrounded, of course, by all the animals. And I really felt so at home there. It was so peaceful and so loving. And I reflected, as I was there, I'm reflecting on the times, at how at times here on earth, it can really be painful. And, I know, all of us are experiencing that to some degree. And it made me think, and it made me have even more compassion for E.T. and how he must have felt when he came to Earth and he was so far from his home. And then E.T. slowly bent toward me and he placed his lovingly alien hand on my heart. And my heart instantly lit up in this bright red color and it was surrounded by this white glow. And I really sense this as reiterating the previous message about dialing into my heart. Keep dialing into my heart is what ET was telling me. And as my heart was pulsing this bright red, as I stayed connected to my heart, I noticed that all around me, that each animal's heart was also just lit up in the most beautiful bright red. And as you know, if you've watched my other videos and followed my blog or newsletter, I'm all about the animals. And I really believe at my core that the animals are here supporting us too, that they want us to heal our wounding. They want us to heal our trauma. They want us to let go of that baggage and step into this new way of being that feels very supportive. So during that meditation, also, I was leaned up against the trunk of a tree and E.T. was sitting beside me. And then another scene from the movie played out in my mind where E.T. is sitting among all the stuffed animals. Do you remember that? If you saw the movie, remember the movie? He's hiding from the mom because the mom didn't yet know about him. So he's in one of the children's bedrooms, all these stuffed animals in the closet, and there's E.T.'s little face. But it made me reflect on how for so long in my life, how I have felt at home among the animals, and maybe you do too, or you feel at home in nature. And I just think that's another important teaching that during these chaotic times is go to those places that make you feel at home in your heart to get us through these chaotic times. So then, just before the meditation came to a close, that second meditation, it started to get darker in the forest. And I just watched as this red squirrel climbed the tree trunk out onto a branch, and he hung upside down and he was holding a lantern in his little paws as a way to help light the way. Because even in the darkness, there are people, there are beings, there are animals that are lighting the way for us if we just stay open to that. And it was really so comforting. And it assured me that love will lead the way in this world and that everything is going to be okay. So, those were the first two meditations. And then I had a third encounter during a group meditation where I felt these waves of energetic expansion as a circle of heart centered humans widen and widen. We were all standing together in this circle, but our hearts just kept expanding out and out and out around the whole planet. And the center of this circle was filled with just so many different animals. Again, the animals were there. And while I was holding this space of expanded love along with everybody else, and compassion and kindness and peace and integrity, there was a time during the meditation that I felt this really, really intense grief. And I felt like it was being called that I had to feel it and then release it. And then I heard our ancestors cheering us on as we felt this deep, deep grief. So maybe you have already felt some of this grief. Maybe that is something that is coming. And just to let you know, it's okay to feel that grief. We got to feel it to heal it. We got to feel it in order to let it go. And when we do that, we can move through it. And we're leaving these old patterns behind. So, during that meditation also, the animals began cheering us on, and this elephant raised its trunk, and the monkeys were swinging from trees to trees, and the lions were roaring, penguins were flapping their wings, and a gorilla was beating its chest, and a giraffe was running upon the land. It was just so joyful, just so very joyful. And then I saw E.T. again. And then this time E.T. bowed his head with hands crossed over his heart, and he repeated 3 times, "You are home, you are home, you are home." And I really took that as the message that even as if in this troubled world right now, a lot of spiritual teachers and astrologers are saying we're going to go through some pretty chaotic times. But ET was reminding me that our true home is right here. To dial into that, even when we are in the darkest of times and the scariest of times, is to dial into that. So my last meditation was just recently where ET was there again, but I was sitting with my dog, Gidget, who has been in spirit for 5 years now, and also White Wolf, which is my spirit animal, and ET. And we were sitting like on this hill and we were facing the skyline, but I could see the cosmos. It was just brilliantly lit up, and the planets and the stars. And I remember ET was on this side of me, and then White Wolf and Gidget. And ET just put his arms around all of us. And then with ET with its index fingers made this formation. He took his fingers and he formed this heart, like encircling the cosmos. And then I got to remember, I drew a picture of it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he did like this with his heart, with his fingers, and made a heart. And then he went like this and encircled the earth. So we're all connected through our hearts, is what I really feel like ET was trying to share with us. And yeah, I'm trying to think how to sum this up now, but I hope this was helpful as a little extra support right now as we are going through these turbulent times. And to just remember, ET's message is about dialing into your heart, staying connected to your heart, even during troubled times. And know that, there's other people on the planet that I think most of us want the best for this world, right? And it's just really important to stay connected to our hearts and to remember this is our true home, that nobody can ever take that away from us. This is truly our true home. So that is the message from ET and the animals. I did want to just mention Gidget. So Gidget and White Wolf have specific meanings for me as well. And Gidget really was my teacher of honoring my inner sage and coming home to who I truly am, which I continue to hone in on. We're all a work in progress every day, but I feel, just doing this video was a big deal for me to talk about ET. But how can I not share that when it brought me so much comfort and peace? And I want the same for all of us, for all of you too. So that is Gidget. She is a symbol to me of all of us about honoring our own inner sage and trusting in what we hear, what we see, what we feel, that makes us feel love and makes us feel at home. And then also White Wolf is symbolic for me, is also comes back to the heart and is about compassion. And it's about when we feel darkness or we feel scared, to not shut our hearts down, to try and keep our hearts open, which ET is encouraging us to do. And that's how we all grow and expand, and we have compassion and love for each other. So I hope that was helpful. I just decided to just go for it today, do this on a whim, and I hope it was helpful. And let's all stay connected to our hearts, dial into our hearts, and know that we are home. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.